Back again for another video. On today's topic, we'll be talking about how to know if a woman is worthy of protection. And it's going to be very simple, I would hope, in my explanation, but I can go on a rant for a minute. Let's see. I don't want to make this like super long, but we'll go for it. Anyways, how to know if a woman is worthy of protection? Well, we got to first define what is protection in the first place, right? How do we define protection? Well, you all know I like to consult with Google for my definitions, just to start with. And then I'll further, of course, define them even more specifically to the circumstances that us as black men face and us as other men as well face. But Google says, a person or thing that prevents someone or something from suffering harm or injury. That's pretty straightforward. It's preventing casualties, it's preventing calamities, preventing bad circumstances, preventing unfavorable outcomes. That's more specifically what the definition of protection is, right? But how does one define if a woman is worthy of a man preventing her from suffering? Well, here's a simple test that I like to do. And this is almost kind of like a shit test, I guess. I mean, it's not for me because this is something that I need to implement upon dealing with any woman to gauge if she's worthy of protection or not. Well, the first thing is if she's willing to listen. Now, I know that sounds like, okay, yeah, if she's willing to listen, then she's probably worthy of protection, right? If she's willing to follow, if she's willing to be under leadership, she's probably worthy of protection. But I want to dial in on that a little bit more. How I like to go about finding if a woman is worthy of protection, I simply will assess what her circumstances are. Usually, and I don't know why this is the case, but I mean, I guess it's just the imperfection of humanity. But usually when I run across a woman, she has some type of issues going on in her life. Now, there's a point where a man shouldn't interject on these issues. These things should be taken care of her by herself because they were probably there before you got there. But upon taking on a woman, or upon assessing a woman to see if she's worthy, I assess her issues, right? And then I start to see if there's a trend or pattern, or if it's just one-off things. For instance, like, I don't know, maybe the bank, I don't know, maybe she had her credit card stolen or something like that, or a debit card stolen, so she wasn't able to pay her rent, so she was late paying her rent. That's just a one-off type of thing, right? But if she's late paying her rent every damn month, that means it's pathological, right? Meaning that it's not just a cute thing, right? So when it comes to those type of things, upon my entry is where I start to assess and apply, well, not to assess, but not just assess, but start to apply what things that I could say to her to see if she's worthy of the protection. What things that I could implement in her life to see if she's worthy of protection, right? And this is based upon her past history and current circumstances at times. But it goes further into the interaction between me and her, according to what we have a general understanding and consensus about in our interaction, and what her perpetual circumstances or pathological circumstances may be that are going to forward into the outplaying in the relationship that we have, right? Simply if the bullshit continues, right? So how I go about assessing if she's worthy of protection, I simply say, this is a saying that I have. If you want to know if a woman is worthy of protection, you simply advise her on how to avoid bad outcomes. Advise her on avoiding making the bad decision that she may have, because once again, this is based on a pathological history. You want to see if she's worthy. I mean, yes, of course, you want to help possibly alleviate some of these issues that she may have in regards to the circumstances that she may be in, because who wants dead weight, right? Because that's essentially what she'll become if she brings along that baggage. You want to alleviate that baggage away from her, or just find a woman who has no baggage at all. But once again, that is the imperfection of humanity. So I don't think you're going to run across a woman that has no baggage. She's going to have some type of baggage. But in your leadership, you're supposed to be molding her into something that is preferable for what you're trying to accomplish, right? Your purpose, right? It's no different than how I see the military. I was in the military for a long time. We all came from different backgrounds. We came from different places. We spoke different languages at times, but at the same time, when we actually became actual soldiers, we were on one accord in regards to how we expressed ourselves and our duties, right? And that came from assessing our individual shortcomings, because there were some people who couldn't run fast. There were some people who couldn't shoot. Some people who couldn't march well. There were some people who just couldn't memorize anything in regards to regulations. So these specific issues were addressed so that we were made uniformly into soldiers that knew just about the same things, that can run just about the same speed, that can shoot just about the same quality, etc. My point of this is that when you take upon a woman, she's going to come with her differences that may not fit what you need to do in regards to your purpose. But she may has the potential. Everybody has a certain level of potential. She may have the potential to become something great in your life, right? So she may need a little polishing up. This is the reason why this is important to me anyways, assessing if a woman needs protection, because the protection isn't just physical. It starts with the decision making, because we all have free will to do what we want. For instance, we can eat 12 cakes in a day if we want to. That's a bad decision. We could spend all of our money on BS and have nothing for sustenance. That's a bad decision. We could party all night every weekend and drink till we drop. That's bad decisions, right? How you once again tell if a woman is worthy of your protection, try to prevent her from making any of those bad decisions that will not mesh well with what she could play a role in your life. Try to get her to try to suggest to her not to make a bad decision. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how big it is. This will tell you right off back if she's worthy of protection. Because one of two things are going to happen. Either she's going to adhere to the suggestion and carry it out, or she's going to push back on it. A woman that pushes back on a man advising her not to make a bad decision is a woman that's going to continue to make bad decisions regardless of who says what. Do you want that in your life? Probably not. Probably not. And I'm speaking from experience, right? Because I've dealt with women who consistently made poor decisions, no matter what I suggested. That's not a woman that you want in your life, because she's going to be very tumultuous. She's going to have contempt for you. She's going to create the power struggles, because that's where it comes from. Anyone who cannot take suggestions to simply, hey, I need you to go ahead and work out probably about three times a month. I'll help facilitate 3 times a week. I'll help facilitate that, And she says, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, cool. It's going to repeat again in a different scenario. If you have a situation, let's say like, I don't know, she wants to go to a party with a whole bunch of random guys and they're going to be doing drugs, and you say, hey, I don't think that's probably a good idea because of the circumstances and the situation that you could potentially put yourself in. Plus, with all those people, I know those people, the main people that you want to hang around, and in the direction that you want to go in your life is only going to set you back. And she says, oh no, I think I'm going to go anyway. She's not worthy of your protection. Simply, automatically. It's just that simple. I mean, I don't want to make things super complicated for you guys. I try to come up with the best solutions to simply assess these women right off back. Is if, once again, she's going to make a bad decision and you suggest for her not to suggest against her making that bad decision, and she does it anyways, she's not worthy of your protection. And this may be different for different men, of course, because we all aren't going to suggest the same thing to one woman. For instance, let's say that we met the same woman for whatever reason. We may have different suggestions of what we see fit to change in her life to better accommodate what role she's supposed to play in our lives. That's how it works. Our purposes are different. So what we're going to suggest to this woman is very different. For instance, if I was a stick up dude, right? And a woman said to me, I'm going to go to this party where all these dudes are going to be doing drugs. I'm like, hell yeah. Yeah. Go to that party. Let me know who fried, please. So that I can catch them out in the parking lot. That's what I decided my purpose was. So yes, if it's very in line with what I'm trying to accomplish, it's all according to your purpose. That's the reason why, like I said, we all are going to give different suggestions to the same woman because our purpose isn't the same. But once again, simply put, if you give her a suggestion and she pushes back on that, especially without rationale, and it's just emotional based, meaning that she's just flying by the seat of her pants based on how she feels, and why this decision should move forward when you think that it's a bad decision, that's not the woman for you, man. All day. Really simple, nothing complicated about it. Because what's going to happen is she's just going to, like I said, continue to make very poor decisions, and she's going to create power struggles on your suggestions, on your leadership, on your direction, and she's going to come in conflict with your purpose. These are three things that are going to set you back dealing with such a woman automatically. There's nothing complicated about this. But anyways, like, comment, and share. Check me out on Facebook. I still got a few videos up on Patreon. You don't have to pay anything, you can pay $1, watch the extra videos or whatever. And I'll be putting that, what I want to use my Patreon for is all the videos that I can't necessarily put on YouTube, or I don't want to put on YouTube, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about and I don't necessarily want to be on YouTube. It should get flagged, right? I mean, I get it's still on YouTube, but it's only for a specific audience, right? And I know my viewership, right? So that'll be there for the people who want to catch a few extra things that I may not say specifically on YouTube in my videos here. But anyways, yeah, that'll be that. But as you know it, this has been a Wolf and Beta Close. May you have a good day, and of course, peace be with you.